Hi, I'm Lisa with MusicPlay, and I'll be your moderator this afternoon. Today we have the very talented Joyce Holoboff with us, and she's going to share a variety of ideas with us for assemblies, concerts, special days. And we, just due to a couple of things today, weren't able to get her bio up. So I will definitely post some information about Joyce in the comments. But Joyce has taught elementary music and junior high band for 32 years, so she brings a wealth of experience. She uses a hybrid approach combining elements of Kadai, Orff, and world music in her elementary instruction, and has directed choirs at both the elementary and middle school levels. So it's a real treat to have you here, Joyce, and I'll turn this over to you now.
All right. Thanks, Lisa. Hello, everybody. Welcome. And I will just get right into it because I have a lot of material to share with you. I'm famous for having too much for the amount of time. So I'm going to get started right away so that I can do my best to share as much with you as possible. But the very first thing I want you to notice is my email there. If you have any questions about anything that I present, please don't hesitate to reach out and email me, and I'm happy to answer your questions as best I can. So my goal for today is to give you, as Lisa said, I've been teaching for a number of years. So I've experienced a few things. So I'm going to share with you a few of my thoughts and definitely share with you things that have worked for me. And I'm kind of going to go through the school year and share a variety of ideas for either just small little assembly things or more major performances. And my whole goal is to help you make your search within MusicPlay a little less overwhelming. There is a ton of stuff. If you've spent any time in MusicPlay, you know there's a ton of stuff with regard to things that you could perform with. So I'm trying to, my list is not exclusive, but it will help you to kind of maybe get you going on some ideas and then add your own flair to it. So I've actually been teaching for 33 years, yeah, in the same school district the whole time. I teach in a town called Black Falls. MusicPlay is located in Red Deer, Alberta. Black Falls is about 20 minutes north of that. So I'm in a rural school district north of Red Deer. My current assignment is my dream job because I get to teach K-3 music. And then I go over to our junior high and I teach grades 7 and 8 band. So it is the best of everything. And, there's a few things there about me. Making music in a group is my most favorite thing to do. But basically, the most important thing I want to share with you in terms of my philosophy is, for me, it's all about joy at this point. If what I'm doing is not joyful for the students and it's not joyful for me, then I'm going to find another way to meet that curricular objective. Because why, if we have to spend so much time doing this job, and it still is a job, let's make it joyful. So I'm going to jump right in with my most recent assembly, just to give you a sense of some little things that I do. So this took place just last Friday. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the timelines because this was what I like to call quick and dirty. So here in the province of Alberta, we were in some job action for about 3 weeks where we were not teaching. So we got back to school on October 29th, and Remembrance Day, November 11th, is just around the corner for us. So I decided to do this song called Just One Candle with a couple of grade 3 classes. We have 5 grade 3 classes at our school. So I picked the ones that I was going to see the most in the next week. And I picked this song, Just One Candle. It's a grade 1 song. I didn't tell anybody that, and I don't think anybody knew that. One of the classes the I taught the instrument parts too. There's a really simple rhythm instrument part. And the other class, I taught the singing part too. And then we had 3 classes to put it together. So I'm just going to show you a quick little video of how this turned out. Oh, and another thing, because it came to, we had to do this really on quite short notice. I had them sing along with the vocal track. If I have sufficient practice time, of course, I love them to sing with accompaniment only. But This was one of those things where time was of the essence. So this is just to give you a little sample of what a performance in an assembly might look like at my school. So there's the vocalists standing, and they've got little tea lights that they're holding, and the instruments are over on this side. I'm over here with a little poster with written on it for the rhythm instrument.
Just one candle shining in a window pane. It's a light for all to see, a shining flame. Shining through the darkness, it helps to show the way. Light your candle for peace today.
And students were happy, parents were happy. That's another thing about performing is that, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about my philosophy with that, but for me, it's much more about them performing to the best of their ability and having that performance experience rather than having it be the most amazing performance ever. So options for performing. Obviously, we can sing, we can play some instruments. I've done folk dances, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as an assembly performance. I've also done stories as assembly performances as well. And of course, celebrating all those seasonal things. And I will talk about Christmas, even though it is November the 12th, and probably you've got your Christmas well underway, but hopefully you can use some of my tips and tricks for next year as well. And if you don't have it underway, I'm here for you. Listening as well, doing things with those props that you have in your room, like plates and scarves and lights. When we're doing something like Christmas, and we're taking a lot of instructional time to do it, you might have people asking you, well, how can you justify using that much instructional time? So within MusicPlay, there are there's a couple of different kind of, I forget what they call these wordsmithing posters, but these show all of the kinds of skills that kids are going to learn when they are performing. So you could take 2 or 3 of these and use them as your objectives for your performance and why that's important. So I just wanted to make sure that you saw those as well. Okay, so in terms of planning for concerts, especially major concerts, there is a whole concert planning unit within MusicPlay. If you're new to MusicPlay, I'm also going to show you how to find the units because they are just gold. Well, everything in MusicPlay is gold. So, of course, some things to consider. We're all teachers. We know about backwards planning. Here's the deadline, all the things we have to do moving backwards to make that happen. Time frame, of course, is critical to figuring out how much rehearsal time we have to make this happen. Available help is also pretty critical because if you're trying to do this all on your own, that's definitely going to affect your timelines as well. When you are practicing and if you are not performing in the space where you practice, you do need at least one opportunity to get into that performance venue and practice in there so that everybody knows where to stand, what it's going to look like, what it's going to sound like, how is your accompaniment or you're going to work with everything in that space. So here's my little tip when it comes to performance venues as well. For our Christmas concerts, we bring in a portable stage. But of course, we can't get onto that stage until the week of Christmas concert. So what I do is I take those dimensions of the stage and I mark it out with tape on my music room floor. That way we can still practice on the stage. And I even use microphone stands so we can practice going up to the microphone and speaking our lines and those sorts of things. So I have that all on the stage that's marked out in my music room so that the students know where to stand on the stage. I take pictures of it too, because I teach 7 classes a day, times 5 days a week. I'm not going to remember who stood where. So take pictures of your kids when they're in the right spots, and you'll remember, and it will help them remember as well. And I've already mentioned the value of I would rather choose a simple song And I would rather have my kids have that performance experience rather than it being the most amazingly brilliant performance ever, because I think there's so much value to performing. And expect the unexpected. I'll talk a little bit more about that later too, because that's always going to happen. So if you are relatively new to music play, the best place to start is the units. And of course, this is the main menu within music play rather. And the units are this little book icon here at the side. Once you click on that, you're going to see unit categories. Now, I've just highlighted programs and musicals here, but depending on what kind of a performance piece you're looking for, you might want to click on festivals and holidays. You might want to click on dance and move, and the listening units as well. So that's where you need to go to find units. Now, in terms of teaching and presenting, if you spend any time in music play, you know that every single song has a lot to offer. So I'm just going to show you this little song called Rain, Rain, which is a kindergarten or grade 1 song within music play. Just in case you haven't spent too much time within music play, there's so much within here. If you just need an audio track or just an accompaniment track for your performance, it's right there at the top. Of course, there's lots of different videos. I love the videos for teaching because you can change the speed if you need to slow them down a little bit, or on the off chance you want to speed it up a little bit. I love kids demos within music play. They are golden, whether it's to show a class doing a performance or whether it's to show how to play a game. The kids demos are really great. This little one is so cute. If you're looking for something for super young kids for springtime, I think this might be from Stacy Werner's classroom. But here we go. We've got a little bit of a whole bunch of kindergartners or grade 1s in their little rain jackets. And they're singing the Rain Rain story, and someone is speaking the story along with it. And there's even people playing Orff instruments. So you can just see different ways that people have done their presentations. And there's the Rain Rain story as well. Another thing that I want to show you that I find really valuable and I use a lot in the supporting resources is the lyrics projectable videos. Or they're not videos, sorry, they're slides. So in this, so for example, if I want to teach the Rain Rain song, here are the words right there. We can sing along with the vocal track or we can sing along with the accompaniment track. I use those a lot, especially when I'm preparing for something like Christmas concert. Now, remember when we talked about expecting the unexpected? If you want to set your audience up for success, within Music Play, there's a concert etiquette rap. It's really cute. It's, as the title would indicate, it's a spoken little rap, but it, primes the audience for things like remembering about their cell phones and leaving when it's appropriate. And I'll just tell you my little story about expecting the unexpected. Last year at our Christmas concert, we had a dad who was super proud of his daughter, and she had 2 or 3 speaking lines. And every time she came up to the microphone, when she was done, he stood up and screamed, "Yay, my daughter's name!" 3 times. So it just was so distracting. We hadn't done the concert etiquette rap, but at the next concert, my principal did have to talk about how, we want to support our students and so on, but we don't, it's not in other words, it's not a hockey game. Please clap, but please don't, get out of your chair and scream. So yeah, these things will happen. Here's a little tip from John Jacobson. I've got tips thrown in throughout my presentation here. I'm going to talk a lot about John Jacobson today because he is the king of programs and musicals. So here's a little tip from him. If you are able, especially with younger students, but I would say almost any age, and if you are using a script where there's dialogue being spoken in your program, project the script on the screen behind the performers. That way, if somebody doesn't say their line clearly, or if they make a mistake, the audience can still see what's supposed to happen and they can still get the gist of the story. Or if they're telling a joke, they might actually get the joke. So that was a really good tip. I haven't been able to put that one into place yet, but I'm going to see what I can figure out for this year. So now I'm going to get into some of I'm kind of just going to roll through a little bit of the school year and give you some of my things that I would have done or will work really well for a performance opportunity. So in the fall, and this is one I have done, is Los Machetes. Los Machetes is a folk dance from Mexico, and it is a harvest song, so it fits perfectly into the fall. So we did this with my grade threes at the very first assembly of the year, and that's like about 10 days into school. But here's my trick. I taught it to them at the end of grade two. So they knew it from June in grade two. So we come back in grade three. We just have to get it back into their bodies again. And we performed it in the gym. So Los Machetes is a song about doing the harvest in Mexico when they would use machetes to cut down. We don't use machetes, we use rhythm sticks. So this is the kids' demo of Los Machetes in class, and I'm just going to play you just a smidge of it.
Los Machetes.
This is a great song for teaching form as well, because it has A, B, and C sections. But you can see that those kids in that kids demo were in a circle. What I did with my 125 grade threes is we were around the perimeter of the gym. So we did it in a, square circle around the gym. Now, 125 kids with rhythm sticks is loud. So we did a few things to mitigate that. I talked to the kids a lot about using baby clicks, so just very small clicks with their sticks. I also pre-warned all of the classroom teachers that if they have students with sensory issues, that they might want to bring their headphones or, that they were aware. Yeah, so I just made sure that everybody knew that this was going to be happening. It was a huge hit. Oh, and by the way, at the end, the very best part, when we're done, we do a stick drop at the end, like a mic drop. They love that. That's the best part. So that one has worked really well as kind of a in the round performance. I'm going to show you a little video from our dear Denise Gagne. I love this dramatization of autumn. Now, I've done this in the classroom this year with some grade ones. I was hoping to do it as an assembly piece, but we had the job action. We were off. It didn't happen. So I'm going to play you a little bit of this and then tell you how I did it as a dramatization with grade ones.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Gagne, and today we're going outside to rake up some leaves. There's leaves all over the ground. Rake the leaves up. Rake the leaves up, rake the leaves, hard work. But when none of the grown-ups are looking, we're gonna take those leaves and we're gonna toss them in the air and we're gonna play with the leaves until we see the grown-ups come back, and then we're going to rake again.
So here's the actual music.
Rake the leaves, rake the leaves, hard work. Rake the leaves, rake the leaves, rake the leaves, hard work.
So what I did with grade ones in the piece itself, there are 3 of those breaks where the grown-ups are not looking and the kids play in the leaves. So I took that I just created a little dialogue where I was the mom or dad who was having them get to work. But then the first time I got distracted when a neighbor came over. So I turned and talked to the neighbor, and I had the great students from the class come and be the neighbor. The second time, my doggie got out. So one of the kids pretended to be my doggie, and my doggie got out. So I had to go out my doggie, and the kids played in the leaves. The third time, grandma came over. So I was talking to Grandma and I got distracted and they were playing in the leaves again. And they really, really loved it. They had so much fun with it. So I really hope that I do get to do that with an assembly someday. There's another song called Falling Leaves in grade 2 that you could do certainly with your scarves. It has a half note in it, which is great for teaching half note in grade 2. Turkey Tango is a cute little alphabet action songs. So if you had some little ones and it was around Thanksgiving time, you could certainly have them do the Turkey Tango as an assembly performance as well. It's super fun. Now, I want to talk about a few Halloween things as well. My favorite one is the little old lady who was not afraid of anything. And I have done this as an assembly performance as well. This is a great story. If you're not familiar with it, I highly recommend that you check it out because it's full of sound effects. This is a great video within MusicPlay as well. It tells the story, and it's made by a teacher named Miss Jackson. And she not only shows the instruments, but they come up throughout the story so that the kids can play along as well. So I'm just going to play you a tiny little clip of this. You can see this as well.
But behind her, she could hear 2 shoes go clomp, clomp. 1 pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. And 1 shirt go shake, shake.
So you can see that. The gist of the story, if you've never heard of it before, is that the lady's going home. She's not afraid of anything, but all of these pieces of clothing keep following her. So it's a little disconcerting. So by the time she gets home, there's shoes and pants and a shirt and gloves and a hat and a scary pumpkin face that have all followed her home. So she gets into her house and she closes the door. She's still not afraid of anything, but they knock on the door. She opens the door and she says, "Well, I'm not afraid of you." Well, and they're very sad because, well, what are they supposed to do? So the little old lady whispers an idea to them. She goes to bed, gets up the next morning, and she turns them into a scarecrow. So they're all happy. So the way we did this as an assembly performance is the teacher, I did this with grade 1s. The teacher of the class was the little old lady. So she read the story. We had a student for each of the pieces of clothing, and they had boots and a pair of pants and a shirt and the gloves and hat, etc. And then the rest of the students were instruments, and I was helping them to play their instruments as sound effects at the right time. And then to actually make the scarecrow at the end, well, we're in Canada here. So somebody in my school had a hockey drying rack where they would hang up their hockey jersey and all their hockey gear. So we put our shirt and pants and boots and hat onto the drying rack, and we made a scarecrow. So that turned out to be a really great little assembly performance as well. MusicPlay has a great Monster Mash cup game. If you're going to do cup games as an assembly performance, I would suggest putting them up on tables so that people can see them doing it better. There's a couple of great, super easy Halloween songs that are 1 chord or maybe 2 chords. I think these are both 1 chord. Ghost of Tom and Old Woman All Skin and Bones can be done on boomwhackers, ukuleles. Skin and Bones can be done on recorders. There's also a guitar arrangement of Skin and Bones as well. So I just talked about the one thing that I did for Remembrance Day, but I do want to, or Veterans Day as it's known in the United States, but I do want to mention a few other things as well. There is a whole November 11th unit to help you out. And within that, there are songs of peace and there are unity songs as well. There's a brand new song in MusicPlay this year called Thank You, and that one's specifically directed towards veterans. So keep all these things in your back pocket for next year. I'm going to briefly mention In Flanders Fields. So In Flanders Fields is a very famous poem that we almost always hear at assemblies in Canada on Remembrance Day because it was written by a Canadian. I learned a really cool black light presentation from a lovely colleague named Doris Lowen. In my next, so I'll tell you a teeny bit about it here. So In Flanders Fields is a vocal arrangement of the poem. So I've done this black light presentation with junior high kids. So we play the song, but then we have black lights, and hopefully the kids are all in black. And we have props to go along with the story. So the first thing we have is white socks. And these white socks can either be used to hold the poppies. I'm going to show you that in my next slide. The poppies are on little Velcro squares, or the socks can just be like this, and they are the larks flying through the air. Gloves, white gloves would also work. Socks are just much more easy to come by. And then I will show you the other props in the next slide as well. It's a really effective performance, and I don't want to tell you about every single detail at this time. But if you want to know exactly what I did when and how I did it, please email me and I will be happy to share it with you. Within MusicPlay, there are sample scripts for Remembrance Day assemblies. It's one stop shopping rather. MusicPlay also has recorded versions of Last Post and Reveille or Rouse. And so those are available if you need them for your assembly. Here are some other songs that are super accessible and easy. Sing for Peace. That one's also in French. There is Shine a Light for Peace. And I've already talked about Just One Candle. Now, I did Just One Candle with instruments and singing, but there is also an American Sign Language arrangement of it within MusicPlay as well. So just a ton of stuff. Now, back to my In Flanders Fields for a second. Here's the other props that I used. So the poppies go on those socks. When I do this again, I'm actually going to replace the white socks with black socks for the poppies. And then you'll only see the poppy and not the sock as well. So they were on little Velcro squares. They're really hard to see. We used sticks that are covered with white ribbon and then covered with tape, because you want to make sure that they are going to glow if you're using a black light performance, and not everything that's white glows. So you need to be sure about that. So we use these for the crosses and for the guns. And then these dowels with ribbon on the end were the torches. And like I say, I'd be happy to share with you the details about that if you're really interested in it. Now, here's another little tip from me. If it says light, I'm probably going to add some lights. You could see in Just One Candle, we had our little tea lights, and those are just, the little battery operated ones. I love finger lights. Finger lights you can buy at dollar stores usually, or on Amazon. The original intention was that they come with a little elastic around them, and then you put those on your finger. And they have a little button that you turn on. They're very cheap. Make sure you always have some extra ones, because some will always not work. I tend to take the elastics off because, kids and elastics, not a good combination. And then I just have the kids hold them like this. They usually come in 4 colors, red, blue, white, and green. So if it's Christmas time, you can use the red and the green, or maybe you want to throw in white too. Finger lights are awesome. Even if you don't use them in a performance, have some fun with them in your music room. I've already talked about black lights, basically anything that lights up that's, got a battery, no real live flames, please. Okay, here's another tip now that I'm thinking about Remembrance Day. I have a grade 3 choir that meets a couple of times a week at lunchtime. Our rehearsals have normally been 20 minutes twice a week. That's not very much time when they have to come in and check their name off on attendance and do a quick warm up. So I double duty some songs. So when it comes to November 11th, I will teach them a song that is about peace or unity, because peace and unity also flow into Christmas. And then I will again use that song at Christmas, plus add another, more Christmassy song along with it. So you're getting double duty out of those songs. So this year, my grade 3 choir was planning to do Children Together, but the job action got in the way again. So I'm going to go right into Christmas here. Like I say, most of you are probably have probably major decisions, but put these in your back pocket for next year as well. I know I'm hitting the ground running with Christmas this week. So where to find resources within MusicPlay? And again, I'm trying to make your life simpler here. These are all within units. Advent, Christmas line dances, if you've got some upper elementary kids who can handle some line dancing. There are sacred for those of you who teach in Catholic or other religious schools. Because I'm in a public school, I tend to stick more with the Santa and the secular. I'm going to talk a lot about Nutcracker too, because MusicPlay has got great things with Nutcracker. And I'm going to talk a lot about programs and musicals. So that's all the places you can go to find your Christmas resources. So programs and musicals and the amazing John Jacobson. If you are unfamiliar with John Jacobson, he is a renowned elementary music creator. He's been around for a really long time. He's had his own magazine and his own programs, but within about the last 3 years, he has become part of the MusicPlay family. And this is such an amazing thing because he has so many resources. So I'm going to talk to you about a lot of his programs and musicals, but very specifically, I'm going to talk to you about Christmas cookies because it's become one of my favorites. So here is the programs and musicals. If you really want to find just John's things, you can go back to the Discover menu and look down here for Explore Content Form. And if you click on John's smiling face, you'll find all of his resources within MusicPlay. And then here's his musicals and reviews. So let me show you Christmas cookies. I have done this with grade 3s and last year and this year now I'm going to do it with my grade 2s. Every musical, and these are full-blown musicals, every musical within MusicPlay is, again, it's that one-stop shopping because everything you need is right here. And I don't need to read it out for you, but there's scripts and there's scores and there is teaching material for every single song that's in that musical. So again, when it comes to teaching, I'm going to go right here and I'm going to go to those lyrics slide. And here I am this week, I'm teaching my grade 2s, the Baker's Round, and fingers crossed we'll be able to perform it in a round as well. But again, there is just everything that you need. Now, I think I've got this in my tips at some point. John Jacobson is a great choreographer. He adds movement to practically every song that he does. He adds a lot of movement to every single song that he does. So please don't be afraid to scale it back to what's manageable for you and what works for you. I know that that's what I do. So the Christmas cookies, I'm going to give you the premise of this one because this is just the greatest little play. And there's also a version called Cookies that you can do at another time of year as well. So the storyline goes like this. The cookies are very happy in their batches. So last year we had batches of chocolate chip cookies, sandwich cookies, AKA Oreo cookies, fortune cookies, gingerbread boys and gingerbread girls, Christmas tree cookies and Christmas bell cookies. I'm going to show you what the costumes looked for in a minute. So all of those cookies are so happy to be with their batch, but the fortune cookie delivers some bad news in that there's going to be a cookie exchange whereby they're going to get mixed up with other cookies from different batches. So this is a problem. There's a second problem in that there are puppies on the loose. And of course, puppies love to eat cookies. So this is a sweet little musical. The Who Wants a Cookies song is the first song that the puppies sing. And it is just the most fun song ever. If you don't even do the Christmas cookies or the cookies musical, you got to do that song because it's just so much fun. I revised and simplified the script for my kids, and I do it reader theater style. Our school goes up to grade 3. It's really hard for them to memorize their lines and be confident in that. So when I say reader's theater style, I mean that beside the microphone, I have a music stand with the script on it. Hopefully they know their lines, but if they don't, it's right there to help them out. Super simple costumes, and you can use more. John has a whole raft of ideas for cookies if you need more batches of cookies. So here are my simple costumes. They were made out of poster board and they just hang around our necks. And you can see there's a foot-long ruler just to give you some perspective. So here's my Christmas tree and Christmas bell cookies. Here's the chocolate chip cookies. The puppies just had little puppy headbands. These aprons, these are for the bakers at the beginning of the program. Those were from the dollar store. And these little chef hats I just ordered from Amazon as well. Here's my sandwich cookies. They're hard to see on my gray carpet, but they just a black circle with a little bit of white behind. Here's the fortune cookies. They were just a whole yellow circle folded into four. And then we've got the little fortunes sticking out. And this is what they look like when they're hanging around their necks. These are the gingerbread boy and gingerbread girl cookies. Okay, and don't be afraid to simplify John's choreography. Do check out John's many other musicals here as well. Let me talk about those while I'm talking about John Jacobson. He has so many. Others for your youngers, Gnome for the holidays. Gnomes are really in right now. And this one is super cute. And the gnomes are, going up to the North Pole to help the elves because there's been some sort of crisis at the North Pole. So the gnomes go up to help them get ready for Christmas. It's a Boy. If you want to do a Christmas story musical, this one's super cute. It's a new one from John as well. And it's a gender reveal story about the Christmas story. Starbucks has nothing to do with the coffee franchise. This is a super popular one that you could, it definitely has some elements that need upper elementary kids. So you could do it with your upper elementary kids, or you could do it as a, K to 6, but you're going to need those upper elementary kids to do a lot of the acting parts because there's a lot more dialogue and so on in Starbucks. The premise of that story is that Rudolph is super stressed and his nose won't light up. So Santa has to find somebody else to lead the sleigh. So what he decides to do is have a little America's Got Talent talent show amongst the other reindeer to see who's going to lead the sleigh. So there's a rapper and there's a dancer and well, of course, dancer does the dancing. So there's all sorts of different little performances that they give as well. It's a super cute musical. And if you don't want to do the whole musical, but if you need a good concert opener, the song Shine from the Starbucks musical is a really great concert opener. I have used that just as an opening song for my concerts as well. Denise has some great classic musicals as well. Survival Santa has been around for a really long time, but then think about that show Survivor. It's in its 427th season. So Survival Santa still works. And the premise of that one is Santa is short like $1 million. Not sure how that happened, but he's got to raise some dough. So he decides to go on a Survivor type show to make some money. If you live in Canada, Slapshot Santa is a great one. And The Best Christmas Gift is just one of those Christmas musicals that never goes out of style. There is a Christmas Sacred Unit. I've already talked about It's a Boy. Denise also has another one called The Littlest Christmas Star that's also a Christmas story. There is a whole Advent unit too that you should check out. And if you want to do those traditional Christmas carols, they are all within MusicPlay as well. There are play-alongs and there's listening activities. Oh, and I got to go back because I forgot to talk about the Nutcracker. Okay, so in previous years, I have done Nutcracker with my grade 2s to showcase our instruments within the school. So within MusicPlay, in this Nutcracker is a unit, and there are all sorts of goodies within the Nutcracker, including the Nutcracker story. You might want to just show that to your students. Then, as you can see, within each of those songs, there's a variety of play-alongs. So I would use these play-alongs to play for my students to play along with for their Christmas concert. And there are also activities that you can do with your props, like your plates. For this Chinese dance, I substituted those finger lights for the plates. So you can see there's Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. There are a lot of the Nutcracker songs. Trepak, of course, is a great one. And there is somewhere there's a really good bucket drumming arrangement. Oh, it's the bucket drumming is for the march. Now, one more thing. Couple of more things with Nutcracker. If you're in Canada, you are welcome to steal this idea. I did a Christmas concert one year called the Nutcracker Double Double. If you're not from Canada, a Double Double is a coffee that you order at our most famous franchise called Tim Hortons. And a Double Double is a coffee with cream and sugar. So in my Nutcracker Double Double, each class took one of those Nutcracker pieces and we performed it on instruments. Then we did the same piece again with props. So they did the same song 2 times in 2 different ways, hence the double double. And if you are doing the Nutcracker, be sure to finish with Artie Almeida's The Plate Cracker. It is in one of Artie's books, and I'm sorry, I should know this off the top of my head, but it is in one of her resources that's available in the MusicPlay store. And the plate cracker is using those paper plates again. You've got red, white, and green, and it uses the march from the Nutcracker, and it is a great finale to get all your kids doing all these plates at the same time. It's just wonderful. So that's the Nutcracker as well. Okay, so Christmas. There is a lot in Christmas, and it's a big thing. So give yourself some grace. And if you can avoid it, maybe don't do a presentation in January and February. If you need some other ideas, let me know. But I'm going to go on to St. Patrick's Day.
Hey, Joyce, just a
Yeah.
heads up, we're at 5:12 p.m. right now, so we have about 15 minutes left or so.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to keep talking for a few minutes then.
Perfect.
Okay, so moving on to St. Patrick's Day. A couple of things I really like. Check out the Connaughton's Rambles. It's got a rhythm play along. You can also do it with body percussion. I really like this leprechaun improvisation, and I think this would make a great little assembly piece. So I'm going to play you a little bit, and then I'm going to share with you my visualization of what it might look like.
If you catch a leprechaun, what would you wish for? What would you wish for on St. Patrick's Day?
So I like the fact that you're going to involve your students in coming up with some ideas about what they would wish for. Now, to do this as an assembly, I would do this maybe depending, you could do it with individual students. You could put your students in groups. The first group is wishing for unlimited pizza. So they're going to hold up their cardboard pizzas. The second group is wishing for candy for breakfast. So they can hold up their pictures of candy. So it gives an opportunity for the students to do a little creative activity as well, and a little bit of improvisation, and just a quick little performance opportunity as well. In Canada here, we have Pink Shirt Day that usually happens in about February or March. And Pink Shirt Day for us is a day about anti-bullying, promoting friendship and kindness. So if you need some songs about kindness, MusicPlay is there for you as well. John has a whole unit called A Place in the Choir, and it's all about being inclusive and including everyone and being kind. He also has another unit called Songs for a Brighter World. And there's a great song called Friends Forever, which would really work. So there's all sorts of great things within MusicPlay to help you out. If you need things for Easter, wow, MusicPlay has you covered in bunnies. Okay, so there's lots of bunny stuff. I find that even though I shy away from Christmas sacred stuff, I find with my students, I can talk about Easter, but I don't talk about the Easter story. But they certainly know about Easter in terms of the Easter bunny coming and them getting, things from the Easter bunny. So there are some really cute things within Music Play. Old Mr. Rabbit is another literacy connection. Story's been around for a really long time. When I learned it in university, the ending was that so the rabbit, old Mr. Rabbit, is eating all the farmer's vegetables and the farmer is not happy. So in university, the way it ended was the farmer turned the rabbit into was going to turn the rabbit into some rabbit stew if he didn't stop eating his vegetables. Music Play has updated it to a little bit more kindler and gentler one. So in the Music Play version, Farmer Brown plants some extra rows for old Mr. Rabbit so that Mr. Rabbit will leave Farmer Brown's vegetables alone. It also has a very cute game if you want to check that out. And again, everything's there. The story is there, and you can add the singing along with it. John Jacobson has the cutest musical called Bunnies, and I'm going to show you this one very quickly because within Bunnies, it's like all his other musicals. The script is there, the score is there, all of the accompaniment is there. But in this one, there are actual videos of a class who did this performance. So you've got those kids' demos as well. And that musical is just the cutest. You have to have a look at it. John has so many cute musicals, and you'll have to go check them out because I didn't even get them all on here. But Pandemonium is another super one to check out. Little Rabbit Foo Foo, another song that's been around forever. There's also a story, again, literacy connection within Music Play that and I want to go back to that one for a second because here's a really simple kids demo of some kids doing Little Rabbit Foo Foo. And you've got the majority of kids in the back, and then you got a few kids in the front singing and hopping. That's all there is to it. But again, just a really great example there of how one teacher envisioned that song. More spring ideas. Lots of literacy connections as well. I've already talked about Rain, Rain. There is a great poem called Plant a Rainbow. I really like this one as well. This is another one of those where you get some student creativity involved. And this could be for your littles as well, because you are going to create a word rhythm with lily and rose. Lily, lily, rose, rose, etc. And so you're going to say this. You could present this like a rondo. So everybody says the poem. We play one of the rhythms that we've created with our rhythm instruments. We say the poem again. We play a second rhythm with our rhythm instruments. Create your own rainstorm story. I did this with a group of students. One year, I think we discovered the rain stick in my classroom. And as soon as I played it, they were like, oh, can we do a story about rain? And so we did. We wrote this story all together as a class. And then we decided what we were going to add sound effects to. So I have a very cheap little gong here, and we added some djembes and rain sticks. So this is a great opportunity for creating with your classes. There's a few great Mother's Day songs. Gitsigako Mim is a Blackfoot. So that's one of our First Nations here in Alberta. It's a lovely song about I love you, Mom, and I love you, Dad. That is a stick passing game. Lots more things for spring. John has done this new musical called Bingo. You could literally do it any time of year, but it's based on the B-I-N-G-O. You got to check it out. Super cute. The Best Pet Show Ever is one of Denise's. That's good anytime. And you got to love this title, Meow, the most excellent tale of Rover and Muliet. Just another John Jacobson musical you got to check out. For older students, there's lots of musical reviews as well. So Big Dreams would make a great farewell program, especially if you had some students graduating from your school. Just Sing and Razzmatazz, I believe, are also musical reviews. And High Seas is a pirate one. So this is a great musical as well, where you can get your whole school involved dressing up as pirates. If you celebrate Earth Day, there is also an Earth Day unit, and Denise has a musical called One Planet as well, that talks about recycling and conserving water and all of those environmental issues. If you need songs for the end of the year, and usually that's the time that we are called upon again, because we have to recognize somebody who's retiring. We have to graduate our pre-Ks and our kindergartens, or in our case, our grade 3s also leave us. We have to thank our volunteers. So there are, again, some suggestions for you here. Check out those songs that I've listed there. MusicPlay, if you just need things for in your class as well, has a great campfire unit. So make your little fake campfire and have your kids come in and sing some of those silly camp songs. Check out all of these literacy connections as well. So many. I'm hoping to do another webinar later on about some of these things. But check out these as well. And I've already mentioned Old Mr. Rabbit. Oh, I got to mention Chicken Little. This is another great story within MusicPlay. The sky is falling. So that's what this story is. And again, it's got the story here, and it's got suggestions for rhythm instruments that you can add for all of the sound effects. And it has a great video of the story. Oh, I like to use this storybook concept slide for Chicken Little. And then we add the sound effects to it. And I have done this as an assembly performance as well. All right, and lots of anytime ideas for your higher level kids. Think about doing some bucket drumming for an assembly. Other folk dances that I've done as the 7 jumps as well. It's a circle game, but in this case, I just had the students stand at the front, and they went right one way, and then they went left another way. There is a whole unit by an amazing teacher named Kristen Luco within MusicPlay for basketball performance ideas. If basketballs are too loud or too much, use those bouncy kind of dodgeball balls. Oh, kickballs. That's the word I'm thinking of. There is a whole kickball ideas unit as well. There is a whole unit about listening with props and movement. So be sure and check those out. So lots of ideas for you. Now, one more little tip I have is if you're creating a musical and if you are creating a program and you got a variety of different songs that don't really have a connection, find some generic theme to connect them all together. So for example, I did Merry Rockin' Christmas one year, so because some of my classes were doing rock type songs. So you just use a little bit of creativity to find some way to link them all together. I did another year called Christmas is Fun. So what I did was I had the students who were introducing the songs tell a joke. So every time they told a joke in between. So that's what made Christmas fun, as if Christmas is not fun anyways. When your performance is done, take a moment to breathe and enjoy all the accolades. And this is me trying to remind myself, take 5 minutes to note the things that that worked really well this year and things you want to change in case you want to do this again sometime, because why not? If you want to do student assessments, what I tend to do with student assessments, I like to do videos. I don't do them of the performance because things go wrong in performance. I like to take a video in the last few rehearsals. If you want to use that as one of your assessment pieces. If you want to do more of a self-assessment, MusicPlay has several self-assessments within it as well. I also included in my handout my little star and wish, because this is for my littles. So it looks like this. one thing I liked in the Christmas concert, one thing that I wish, and this is a picture of me at the concert. So it's just a little reflection for them. One parting thought. You check out the Music Play Teachers group and Stacy Werner. Follow them on social media. Social media, if you hate it, I totally respect that. But there's so much amazing sharing among teachers within social media. So I just find it amazing, the things that people share online. You will get so many ideas from online as well. Or if you have a question, throw it out to the Music Play Teachers group, and you'll get some really thoughtful responses. So that is pretty much everything for me. I've attached some of the concert planning checklists, and I've attached that little reflection to the handout. And if there's any questions, I'm ready.
All right, Joyce, thank you. Yeah, we'll give everybody here a second or two if there's any questions that pop up. Right now, there are not any specific questions, but I do have to say, everybody, make sure you check out Joyce's handouts on here, the things that you can access, because she has so much detail. So that's really helpful. And let's see here, there is a question that has come on, Joyce. Where
see
can I find the word cloud you mentioned in the beginning of the
Oh,
webinar?
okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was trying word cloud. Sorry, I'm scrolling back really quickly here. Let's see if we can go to it and find out where I found it, because it was a little tricky to find. Okay. So when I go in here, okay, it is under media. Now, so it's under documents. So documents, and I wonder if we go discover, if I just go, what children learn, if we can find it that way. There we go. So that discover
Yeah, it's a handy tool.
is a really handy tool. Sometimes you have to be a little specific with the discover tool. Try and put in as many words as you can. But that's another way that you can find it as well.
And there's another question here. Deborah's just asking, where are the attachments?
Okay, so with the handout, I have put in, I think I included the attachments. Now, is there
Yes.
any way that I can, so does she want the
Well,
link?
they're under, when you go to the workshop section where you access all of these different webinars.
Yeah.
And if you just go to Webinar Wednesday and click on today's, you'll see the information that you can access there with the different quizzes and stuff. Yep.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Hold on. So webinar Wednesday, I don't see that in my account. Hold on. So what do you're, I'm sorry, I'm not following what you're
Oh,
saying.
it's all good. Now, you know that the webinars are in a different place from MusicPlay itself, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
okay.
workshops.musicplay.ca. I can
Oh,
put
I
it in the
I got it.
comments here.
So when I click on it, oh, is it under course materials?
It'll be under the webinar itself.
No, it's under course materials. You have to click on that and then it brings up the handout. Right?
So if I go into where it says Music Play Mentorship underneath on that particular page, I just click over on Joyce's session and then it automatically calls it up that way as well.
When I do that, all I get is the Zoom information.
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm
no,
just,
you're good.
Oh,
If we
it's
can't
okay,
get this
okay.
solved today, we can always, the support at Music Play is just incredible. And they are
Yes.
so helpful.
I see it. It's right there under the
Okay,
line.
and yeah, MusicPlay is super responsive when you have a question.
For
And
sure.
if you see something, if you have a suggestion too, they are very responsive to suggestions for things that you would like improved.
Is this Deborah? Yes, it is. Hi, Deborah. Thank you.
Now
Isn't that
that's super.
great?
Okay, well, Joyce, this looks like that is our questions for tonight. So everybody make sure, come back again next week because Stacy Werner is going to be exploring music genres through project-based learning. And that should be very interesting as well. And Joyce, you know what? You've had a full day. Thank you for spending this last hour and a bit with us. This is so insightful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Lisa.
You bet. All right, everybody, take care.